There's the button I needed. Hello, everybody. Welcome. The Rat Hole is live. Oh, what am I? Hold on. I got a delay. That's what I got going on. All right. I had a window open with this stream. That didn't work very well. All right. There. Welcome. Yes, we are at FallCon in Calgary at the TELUS Convention Center. This is FallCon 37 years of this event, and it's giant. It's a little quiet now because the doors just opened, but this giant hall is going to be packed later. It's going to be great. But for now, I've got a special guest here. I've got David from Dice Hockey Challenge, and we're going to take a little bit of a look, see at his game here. You can see the board here, looking all fancy. Let's bring you up here, and
yeah, hey David,
give us let us know what's going on here.
Yeah, hey David, thanks so much for having me this morning. It's great to be at FallCon. We're really excited to be here. My wife Ann Doyle and I had the privilege of designing and creating this new hockey-based board game called Dice Hockey Challenge. It's been almost 2 years in order to get the game completed. It's a really exciting board game. We were trying to ensure that you could be the coach, you could be the goalie, you could be defense and offense, all in one game. So effectively, we wanted to make sure that this game played really, really well for anyone from the age of 10 all the way through to senior citizens. So it was a real tall order to do that, but we had the privilege of working with a lot of great people in the process who helped us out through the playtesting stages and to get it to the point to where it is today. And we're really, really pleased with the outcome. The game plays in about a little over an hour's time, runs over 3 periods. So the game is based on a regular hockey arena. You play 10 turns each for 3 periods of 30 turns. And out of that, we also have incorporated something that we call action cards. These action cards are weighted 60-40 in terms of positive as opposed to negative outcomes, which is effectively a lot of the key things that can happen in a game of hockey. So you can have things such as breakaways, penalty shots, all the good things which can actually entitle you to free turns, free dice rolls, that sort of thing. Or you can end up with negative cards, which could end up being anything from a minor penalty to a major penalty. So there's a lot that's built into the game. And the other thing, David, I should mention is that the game itself is played in 3 versions. We have a basic version of it. We have a pro version or the advanced version. And then you can play it as a cooperative sport as a team where you can play 4 people with it. So it plays out in different ways. Now, all the versions come in the same game. This is the actual game box itself, so all the background information, everything is included on that. But the bottom line is, it's just a lot of fun to play, and we're really excited to have it here and to be showcasing it at FallCon.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I was looking at it yesterday with my brother-in-law, and I talked to him after. He's like, "Yeah, no, there's some really neat stuff that really feels like hockey in this game." So that's great. So I'm excited to get to. I listened in, but I didn't get to play it. So this will be essentially my first chance to do this. And then if you guys really like what you see here, you can see a little bit more of it as well Sunday tomorrow at 1 p.m. over on Mel's Board Game Room, because he's going to be showing it off there as well. So all the places, all the things, because FallCon is awesome that way. So let's bring this back in, and we go like that. Teach me to play.
All right, here we go, David. Well, first and foremost, you've got your goaltender, and you've got your goaltender, and then you've got your defense, you've got your 2 wingers, and you've got your centerman. The objective of the game is to move to what we call shooting squares. There is one at the top of each of the defensive positions, also at the tops of the 2 wings, and there are 2 in the center position. The purpose, of course, is to score goals. It's a hockey game. And your opponent's objective is, of course, to block you and to stop you from scoring goals. And we do all of this with the use of dice. And you have, on the one hand, you have a set of goalie dice, which allow the movements of your goaltender. So here we go. You've got this set here, the blue set. So these then accommodate your ability to move your goaltender, and you roll these, David, on the start of every play. And so as a result of it, now you've just rolled these out. You've got 2 threes, a 2, and a 1. So for you, you can move your goaltender to any one of those start positions. And so that's how you would begin to move your goaltender. Right. When you go to move your players, you actually roll these dice. These are called your goal scorer dice. Today, we're only going to play the basic version of the game. We won't get into the pro version, although I'm happy to show you the highlights of that later. But basically, when you roll out your actual goal scorer dice, you're allowed to move the value of the 2 dice for 1 goal scorer. And your goal scorers are your 5 players, which are on the game board. So you can move, in that case, 9 spaces. You can separate the die, move 1 player 6 spaces, move 1 player 3 spaces, or you can subtract the die and only move 3 spaces. So you have lots of arithmetic opportunities to move in different combinations and sequences with the dice by either splitting them apart or using them as one. And so the purpose then, of course, is to be able to move your players into shooting positions by using these goal scorer dice. So would you like to go ahead and get started?
Sure, let's do the thing.
Sure, okay. So first and foremost, we roll our goal scorer dice to determine who's going to go first. Whoever has the highest roll gets to make that determination. I've got 10. David has 11. So he gets to choose whether he wants the first move of the game or the first game of the period or the last move of the period.
I will do the last.
Last move of the period. Okay, so we're going to start dice hockey, first period, and we're going to the first turn. So I'm rolling my goalie dice first.
Nope.
So here we go. So now out of that, I can move to a 5, 4, 2, or a 6. So I'm bringing my goalie in on the 4, and I'm going to protect that penalty shot position. Now I'm rolling out my goal scorer dice. I've got a 6 and a 2, so I'm going to take advantage of that right off the get-go. I'm going to move one of my players off. This is called a transition line, where we move through these yellow lines. So I'm going to transition 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm moving right into a shooting position. So I'm immediately going to put pressure on David. But I'm also going to do something very risky here for an early part of the game. I'm going to take an actual action card. So David's going to draw that for me, and he'll let me know whether I'm going to get possibly another turn, maybe a free shot, or
intercepted pass. Your player's pass is intercepted. Go back 2 spaces.
All right, so it didn't hurt me too badly. So I'm just going to go back to my start position. And that is the end of my first move. And now it's David's turn to be able to move onto the game board. And let's just see whether he can block me with his goaltender roll. And he's got 3 4s and a 3. So unfortunately, he's going to have to move his goalie to one of those 2 positions, but he cannot block me into 5. So he's now going to have to try and use his defense and move them along these defensive circles in order to accomplish that objective.
All right. So then those. We've got a 9. So I got a 4 and a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3.
Nope. So David is not. He's got a 5 and a 4. So he's unfortunately not going to be able to take his defense and block. So he's got some strategic thinking to do. And in dice hockey, when you're left in this position in the basic form of the game, which is what we're playing here, the best defense is a strong offense. So in other words, to try and prevent me from taking a shot on him on my next turn, he needs to see if he can get into a shooting position to put pressure on me so that I will be forced to go defensive as opposed to offensive. So you do have this option here. Of course, you can move there if you wanted. That's one of the things.
That'd be 4. Yep.
That would be 4.
Yeah. 1. Transition there.
Bingo. So David's now threatening me, and he's also got his 5, which he can turn around and go for an action card if he'd be so bold to do that.
Seems like a reasonable thing to do.
All right. He's going to go for an action card. I'm going to draw for the middle of the deck here and see what we got. Ice the puck. Move all your players in the defensive zone. So the defensive zone back to either one of the 2 defensive start positions. So either one of these 2 positions, and take a free turn. So that's the card that David ended up with. So he's going to be forced to move all of his players that are in the defensive zone. So he's lost his ability to take that shot, but he is now going to have the advantage with this free turn. He gets to re-roll his goalie dice, and he gets to remove his defense dice if he needs to.
5, 1, 1. No, none of that. Oh, wait. Nope. 5 is what I want to use. There we go.
There we go. So David's been able to block me. Now he can roll his goal score dice and go strictly onto the offense.
8. Five, 8 will give me another action card here.
Now you're only allowed one action card per turn until you get to the last play of the period. Then you can take as many action cards as you want. So right now, again, because David's new to this game, I can explain and show him some of his options. He does have the choice right now of removing back to that 5. So you could go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then take that 3 and go 1, 2, 3. And move his winger over to the top of the defensive position.
That seems like a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, now he's threatening me again. So now we're going to go. That's the end of the first turn for both David and I. So now we're going to the top of the second. And so now I'm going to re-roll my goalie dice. Now I'm looking for a 2 to be able to block that. And look at that. Lucky me. I got a 2, 3 6s though, and a 2. So I'm now able to block David. And now I'm back in the position where I'm looking for something big here. Oh, no cards for me here.
No, I just wanted to check something. I'll check it after.
So I'm looking for a 3 and a 1. So now to see if I can put more pressure on David. And of course, with that 3, I can remember, add those 2 dice together. So that actually gives me a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I've pulled my centerman out of position. That may have problems for me down the line, but I'm taking advantage of it right now because I see an opportunity where I may be able to get a shot. So that's the end of my second move, and now it's David's second move.
All right.
All right, 3s and a 2. So this time.
So now I got to decide.
Yeah. Well, you can't block the 5 anymore, but you can come to the 2.
Here.
So he's blocking the 2 position, so I can no longer take a shot. But look at this. He's freed me up on the 5. So his only option is to be able to defensively roll a 3 or roll a 6 with his actual goal scored. Look at that. He got the big 3 when he needed it. So he's coming over. He's blocking. And now he's got 5 that he can now move and reposition one of his other players up into more of an offensive position.
That's not quite enough there to do something.
Now you can start bringing your wingers down.
I think it's probably my best option.
Yeah, so he's bringing his wingers down. He's starting to look for more position. So here we go. Now we're into the top of the third. I'm re-rolling my goalie dice. Now I have to re-roll a 2. If I don't, then I'm going to have to use my defense. Look at that. I don't have it. So now I'm going to move to the 4. I'm going to block against a potential penalty shot card, which there are lots of in this action card deck. And now I have to hope for either a 3 or a 6 on my dice. Look at that. I've rolled the 3. So I've got my defenseman coming back along the defensive circles. I'm now blocking David. That's a good thing. And now I've got a 2. So now I've got to make a decision. Well, I'm going to do something, I think, a little different. I'm going to start working this guy into the center position if I can. So I'm going to just position him right there for now. So there we go. Now it's David's turn.
All right.
All right.
3, 1.
Okay, now David can no longer protect here, so he's going to have to take a 3 or a 4.
Yep.
Yeah, or a 1. The 4 helps to protect the penalty shot, so that's his safest move in this case. Now he really needs defensively. Well, he's got doubles. Doubles are good for David because he gets an extra free roll of the dice. And with a free roll, unlike a free turn, when he starts, he can actually go ahead and he doesn't have to move his goalie if he doesn't want to. It's his choice. And he's actually going to get another free roll after this. So this is great, actually. It doesn't look like a nice roll for David, but he can get an action card if he wants. He's going to be entitled to a free roll, and he can go also move his goalie. So now so here he goes. He's going to go after another action card on this turn. Goaltender move. Your goaltender may reposition to any of the goaltender squares. How lucky is that? So he can reposition. Look at that. And now he gets to re-roll his goal score dice. And so, oh my goodness. Wow. Boxcars. So he now is going to get another free roll after this. and he gets to move his either one player or two player. He can move one player 12 spaces, or he can move two players 6 spaces each. So this guy he can run down. This guy you can bring over. You got lots of options here, and you're coming up with another free roll.
5, 10, 12.
All right. Uh-oh, here
1,
we go.
2.
1, 2. So he's into a shooting position.
And then
And a 3.
can't take another card.
Can't take another card yet, but you can start moving up here to try and get in
1,
position
2,
there.
3.
Okay, so now we're into the third, top of the fourth here, and I've got a problem. I got a real serious problem. I have to roll a 6 here, otherwise I'm going to have to do. Oh, look at that, no 6. So I got a 4. I'm still going to stay on this penalty shot and protect against that, but now I definitely need to roll absolutely a 2. If I don't have a 2, I'm in big trouble. I don't have a 2, so we have a problem. Even if I subtract these dice, I'm only going to be left with 1. So again, the only thing I can do here is try and go offensive or get a card. And so I'm going to take that 11, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to start moving down and try and get into position here in the center area. And I'm going to see if David's going to take a shot on me. He's certainly in a position to, and there's really nothing I can do to stop it at this stage. So this could be the first shot of the game.
Seems like a reasonable thing to do. So let's take that shot on 6.
All right, here we go. So I have to roll my goalie dice, and I have to hope here in this case that I'm going to roll a 6. If I do, then I will have blocked David, and he will have to move his player all the way back to a start position. So wish me luck, folks. Here we go. 6. Look at that. My goalie's hot tonight. So there we go. I'm in. And so David has to move back to a start position. That concludes the end of the fourth. Now we're into the fifth turn. Thank goodness for a hot goaltender. And so here we go. So now I'm on the move again, re-rolling my goalie dice. I've got a 2, a 1, and a 3. This time I'm going to roll it out to the 3. Not really under any immediate threats at this point. Now I'm going to go after and see if I can get into a better position. So I've got a 5 and a 2, which is a 7, and I'm going to take that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm in a shooting position, so David's under threat again. I've actually, if you notice on the game board, I now have David under threat from 3 different positions. So he's really under a lot of strategic pressure here to try and make sure that he can properly block me.
One, 3. So that's not.
Look at that. He rolled it. That's good. Perfect. You got me blocked, but he leaves me up in the 2. He really needs to get now. He can't move this. You can see his defensive player on the blocking the 5 position. In his case, if he tries to move him over, he's going to open me up there. So either needs to hope that he can roll a 3 and be able to move into that position, and then roll another 3 and then be able to move in and block the 2. So he needs a pair of 3s. That's the perfect roll for him if he can pull this off. We got one of them. He got one of them, so that's not too bad.
But an 8 would bring me back around, would it not?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at that. Perfect roll. Look at that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Top of the 6th. Here we go. Here we go. So my goalie is on the move again. This time I'm actually going to move him back to the 4 again, protect against that risk of action card, penalty shot cards. And I'm on the move. Here we go. What do we got? What do we got? 4 and a deuce. 4 and a deuce. What can I do with that? Well. Well, I'm going to do something here a little bit tricky. I'm going to take my player and I'm going to transition him. As you know, all of these yellow lines I can transition through here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to move to this position right behind the net. And from there, I can get out to a lot of these different shooting squares very easily. So I'm just going to rest him there for the time being. And I'm going to take my other 2, and I'm going to get a little more defensive here, and I'm going to bring him back. So that's the end of my turn.
All right.
All right. So you've got a
2s and 1s.
2s and 1s. 2s and 1.
Oh, I feel like 1 is probably the safest bet right now with him right there.
Yeah, with him right there.
Nothing else is unblocked. So
4
and a
2. 4 and a 2.
2 would give you an action card there.
Yeah, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would put you in another shooting position. You'd have to bring your winger out of position, but it's certainly it's an option.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, we're going into the top of the 7th, and you can see now we're getting close to the end of the first period. So everything is about positioning to try and being able to get a shot in. And so what I'm going to try and do here, we're going to hope for some good rolls. Once I roll my goalie dice, I'm going to try with my goal scorer dice to either roll a 4, which will bring me out here into the shooting position, or a 6, which will bring me here. If I roll a 10, I can come over here. If I roll a 12, I can come over here. I'm in a very, very, very good position right now, but it all depends on my roll. In this case, I also need to make sure that I roll a 5, which I didn't. So, best laid plans. I now have to think defensively. I didn't get a 5, can't block David, so now I have to worry about, first of all, rolling a 1. So this is messing me up. But I got doubles. Now, that's a good day. I have doubles. So with that doubles, that would have positioned me out to take a 10. So I could have come out here, which would have been a nice thing to do. But you're blocking that. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, I think in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, I'm going to go here. I am going to go there. And now I get to re-roll. So now I'm going to re-roll with my extra roll, re-roll my goalie dice again, see what I can do. This time I got a 5, so we're protected. So I'm back. Now I'm going to re-roll and hope that I can move back into shooting position. Okay, this time I got a 9. So with a 9, well, I can take the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm back in the shooting position. And the 4, I'm going to move back. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, okay, so there we go. I've got David under pressure yet again.
Stress.
Stress, lots of stress. Early morning stress.
4, 4, 4, 3, and 6.
Look at that. He's got a hot goaltender. I can't believe it. It's all about goaltending in this first period. 5 and a 4. 5 and a 4. What's he going to do with that? You don't really want to move this guy out because you really got me under pressure. You could move this guy and move him down. I mean, or down into the center position. That is an option. Will that get you shooting? You might even get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you're going to come up short on an action card.
Yeah. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah. Shit. Yeah. 6, 7, 8, 9, 2.
Okay. Or 9. You're on 9.
Or 9.
9. That's okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. Top of the 8th. So now I have to hope I can roll a 5 again. And I didn't. So my goaltender, unfortunately, has let me down. So now I'm moving back to the 3. And now, again, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need a 5 in order to come back in with my defensive block. Don't have it. But best defense, strong offense. So I'm going to put pressure back on David. I'm shifting back to the 3 position. And now I've got to move that 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it for me. Okay. Now, can David roll another 3? Look at that. Another 3. Oh, my goodness. Another block. Here we go. What can he roll? A 4 and a 1. 4 and a 1. Well, I'll get you an action card.
Yeah. Probably my best
Yeah.
option there, or I can take a shot.
Or you can take a shot, absolutely.
I feel like that's the best option, is to take a shot.
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Oh, no, you can't because you already rolled your goalie dice.
Oh,
I apologize.
Okay, nope,
yeah.
no worries.
Yeah, so there you
My
go.
bad.
But now, once this gives you a free turn, then you'll be able to. Slashing, minor penalty. First penalty is of the game. Your player accidentally swings their stick at an opposing player. You must immediately go to the penalty box until the end of your next full turn. So your guy is heading to the box. So here we go. So that was a lucky break for me. Now I still need to get a big 5. Got it. So, okay, I've got David blocked. Now I need to try and get back into a shooting position. 6 and a 1, 6 and a 1. All right, well, we're going to do something fancy here. We're going to do a subtraction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come back 1. So I satisfied the first dice with the 6. I'm subtracting for the 1, putting me back into a shooting position again. So now we're into the bottom of the 9th. So we each have 2. David has a turn and a half, or 2 turns left. I have 1. And the period will be over.
Well, that's not ideal.
That's not ideal. Okay, I may have David cornered here. Here we go. Here we go. Now he's heavily reliant on his goal scorer dice. He definitely needs, okay, a 6 and a 5. So that is not a good roll for David at the moment. He's got a guy in the penalty box serving out his penalty, and so he's playing short-handed. He's kind of caught out of position right now. He has no way to be able to block. So his only option is to go for an action card and hope he can get a free turn. So he's got a 6 on that, and now he's got a 5 to move. This is about the only other option you've got is to move him, I guess.
Do I take the card before I...
No, you better move him first, because if it's another penalty card, you might lose your option to move him. So, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, so David's moved out. So here we go. Goaltender pass. Your goaltender makes a great forward pass. Roll all your goaltender dice and move any one player their combined value.
11. 15.
15. So you can run this guy down, 15. You can run this guy now up into the center position. You've got lots of options there for that. Now, the one thing it doesn't give you, though, is the ability to block me.
Yeah.
So there's a potential shot coming on my last play of the first period.
5, 10, 15.
Okay, so here we go. We're coming into the last play of the first period, and I am taking a shot on 6. So it's up to David's goalie now to try and stop me, or it could be a 1-0 hockey game. Look at that. Look at this. 6 is everywhere. Everywhere. I have to go back to the start position. So that is it for me. My first period is over. Because David has the hammer, he has the ability to pull his goalie, and he can bring a 6th attacker. And now David's going to be lining up.
And this guy comes back out, right?
He comes back out, and he can be repositioned to any start position. So, yeah, you can go anywhere where think you've got a great shot at getting action cards. And David can take as many action cards as he wants during this turn. So here we go. So now he needs to get the proper dice rolls to be able to land on those green action squares. So he's got a 3. So this is, so there's 1, and looks like you're only going to be able to get 1 card. Yeah. Now you want to try and get into a shooting position if you can. Okay, so 1 card it is. Here we go. 1 card, last play of the first period. Oh my goodness. Where are you? Where are you? Right there. Okay, move your player to the this is a take a shot card. This is one of the best cards. Move your player to the closest shooting square. Take a free shot if the shooting square is occupied or the free shot is defensively blocked, which it is. Take another turn. So you get to move here, and now you get to take another turn. 4-1. So now he's after more cards. You get to take a card here if he wants. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can pull another card there. So you got 2 options on cards. Yeah.
Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But you won't have another turn.
Oh, I want to. Right, I can't do the shot.
No. So right now you're trying to get yourself strategically into a shooting position by taking advantage of these cards and hoping that you continue to pull good cards. So you are in that position where you can take 1 here and you can take another 1 here. So you can get 2 more cards if you want.
Yeah. Might as well.
Yep. So here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So this card first, that card second. Here we go. So that'll be your first card. And this will be your second card. Here we go, David, for perfect pass. Move your player. Your player makes a perfect pass. Move up to 7 spaces. So now you have that strategic decision to make. Do you position yourself to take a shot, hoping that this card is going to entitle you to a free turn, or do you position yourself back over here to take advantage of another action card? So the pressure is on. He's going to take the shot. Okay, it's all to this card. Here we go. This is it. Oh my goodness. David just got a 2 and 10 misconduct card. This is a misconduct penalty. Your player says something that the referee doesn't like, gets into a second physical altercation with a member of the opposing team, and is ejected from the game. Your player can be replaced by another one of your players at the start of the next period. You must also forfeit one other active goal scorer to serve a minor penalty, and you lose the remainder of your existing turn. Oh my goodness. There's only one of these cards in the entire deck, and you unfortunately ended up drawing it. So David's got another guy. Now, one guy in the penalty box. Your other guy comes out of the box now. He's in the misconduct. Yeah. So he's gone. And he's gone. Now, the only lucky thing for you, it happened on the last turn of your first period, which means coming into the next period, you'd be back to playing with your misconduct penalty will be over. If that had been on the first turn of the first period, you would have been playing shorthanded the whole period. Time. So you got a bit of a lucky break. But here we go. We just played one whole period of dice hockey, basic, which is the very basic element of the game, not the pro version. And we've ended up with a nothing hockey game. So that's dice hockey at its finest, basic version. So if we wanted to play a pro version either now or sometime later, I can show you how the pro version plays, or we can play on with basic. It's up to you, David.
Let's give me the basics. We'll call it there because we have if we go about 10 minutes, that takes 10 o'clock, gives you a chance to set up your event.
Okay.
But walk us through the pro. What's
Okay, here we go. So in the pro version of the game, what happens is that all your players return back to their start positions. So imagine this is the beginning of the second period. So in this case, when you're using star players, what happens is that we have the opportunity to do several things. One of them is that you can introduce these players. You'll see on each team you have two other colored pawns. These pawns are actually they have something. They're gifted. We say that they have star power. That star power means that these players actually go twice as fast on the game board. So in that sense, these players, which of course can move singly, but these guys move double. So it means that if you were to position your player on the right wing, and you were to roll, say a 6 and a 5, or a 6 and a 4, or a 6 and a 5, you could actually move 22. They always move double. The thing which is challenging with these, though, David, is that they can never move an odd number. So effectively, if you were able to get down here into the central shooting square, you could never roll a 1, only 2s, right? A 1 would be a 2. So they work really, really well, but you have to use them very, very strategically. The other thing that happens in the pro version of the game is that we also allow you to take with your regular players, and you can move any one of these players double, and the other player always has to go single. So that means in rolling your dice, it gives you a lot more strategic options. So let's just say, for example, we'd rolled that 6 and a 5, and I was using 2 of my red players. One of those red players could move 12, or that player could move 10. The other player would move just the single value of that. Or both of these players could move just what you see for the value of the dice. So there's a lot more arithmetic options which are available to both your red players in this case, or your blue players, and then also if you introduce your pro version players who have the ability to move double. Now, the other thing I might add, that when you're playing in the pro version of the game, we have the option of doing something which we call linking. And linking is an opportunity to be able to do assisted plays on scoring goals. So let's just, by way of example, set this up. I'm going to move one of my star players down the right wing here, and I'm going to position him on this shooting square on the right wing. I'm going to move my centerman over here to the top of the right defense, and I'm going to move my other winger down here into the shooting position on the left wing. Now, effectively from these positions, you can see technically I have 3 players that could shoot at David. Now, if his goaltender was out and was successfully blocking one of these, I still have 2 other players potentially in shooting position. I have the ability, David, to link these players together. What linking means in dice hockey, and this, you simply say, I'm going to take a linked shot. I would ask you, what are you linking? If you told me you were going to link this player who's blocked now, but this guy's open, you're going to link to here and he's taking the shot. When you link players together, you have to remove goalie dice. So a linked player, when there's two involved, you would pull out one goalie dice. So you would be down to 3 dice as opposed to 4. And the probability of this is no different than a regular hockey game. If I'm coming in on a breakaway and it's me against the goaltender, it's 1-on-1. You get all 4 of your dice. If I have 2 players coming in on your goaltender, then the odds are in my favor. So now you reduce a dice. If you actually have a third player, say the star power player who's involved in this, then that would mean you'd have to remove another dice. But there's another little twist in dice hockey. These star power players, not only are they able to move double, but they also shoot more accurately. So when they're taking a shot, you immediately always have to remove one of your goalie dice. So in this configuration that you're looking at right now, you would have to remove 3 of your goalie dice, only leaving you 1 goalie dice to try and defend. And if I said I was shooting on the 1 and using my star power player where you had to remove another dice, you would have had to have moved out 3 dice. So that gives you a sense of how the pro version plays. It's very fast. It means the games themselves certainly play out within an hour. But if we end up with a tied hockey game like you and I are right now, where it's 1-1, there's nothing. If it's still tied at the end of 3 periods, we play a 5th period. And in the 5th period, you go down to 4 goal scorers and your goalie. You can position them anywhere. We play out those full 5 turns. If there's no goal scored or we both score a goal and it's still tied, then we go to a shootout. And in the case of a shootout, you're only allowed to bring out 3 goal scorers. You get to position them on one of the, well, you got 6 positions to choose from, and you pick the 3 that work. And one of the things which we find really unique in dice hockey is that there's a lot of patterns that happen in the game. And you'll notice it with dice rolls, that you will roll certain numbers more than others. What are the odds? But with that, if you watch patterns, you'll start to pick up when it comes to an overtime period like this. If it's a shootout, then obviously you want to pick the numbers in which your opponent has rolled the least,
right,
if you've kept an eye on that. And so that gives you a little bit of a competitive edge. Although probability-wise, technically, any of the numbers could be rolled. But it's amazing in dice hockey how games can be decided in a shootout. So far, the longest we've had in dice hockey has been 3 full periods, a full overtime period, and then in 1 shootout, no decision, 2 shootouts, no decisions, 3 full shootouts, no decision. In the 4th shootout, we finally had a final result. Very long, very fun, very exciting. But that's a broad brush overview of the game, and I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. It's surprisingly thinky for how much you have to, for as much randomness as is involved. It's not nearly as hard as it looks. No, it was very enjoyable. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for coming by.
Well, thank you for having me. And again, we didn't talk about the team version, but that again, you can imagine when you played basic, if you had one player controlling your offense, another player controlling the defense on both sides, and you play them simultaneously. You roll out your dice. You both have sets of goal scorer dice, which are all included in the game as well. But that's hugely exciting. And of course, it really promotes cooperative play because you have to work as a team in order to defeat your opponent.
Right. Really neat. So thank you very much. So if you guys are around FallCon, you can check this out. They're just over there. You can pick up copies. You can head over to dicehockey.com for more information there. And like I said, over on Mel's Board Game Room at 1:00 Mountain. And let's just take a quick look while I've got that here. She will be going live in a couple of short moments with Almost Words. I want to bring them in at some point over the next couple of days because this is a fabulous game as well. So you can stop by, check her channel out as well for that. We have all the fun stuff going on at FallCon this year. So thank you guys very much for joining me. And we're going to put up the little closing thing here. And there we go. And then we just kind of give it a little bit of time so I can put up those, numbers and stuff. We'll take that banner out real quick. And until next time, good